I came in the Navy, women were not allowed on ships. We were still very limited in what roles we could serve in the military. We weren't allowed in combat, we weren't allowed to fly fighter planes, we weren't allowed on submarines. So Admiral Duerk did not have the opportunities that women today have. Really, a lot of that is attributed to her as a trailblazer in the Navy throughout her career.
My aunt was Alene Bertha Duerk. She served in the Navy for 32 years, from ensign to admiral. From a historical perspective and a military perspective, she was the first woman admiral.
For us in the nursing corps, learned a lot about nursing history in the Navy. And of course, Admiral Duerk was well known as an icon who really led the way for women in the Navy in achieving success in positions that had been unheard of many years past.
What she told me was that when she was a little girl, she would see a lot of nurses coming in and out taking care of my grandfather. My grandfather had actually been in World War I in combat, and he was gassed, and that was how subsequently he got tuberculosis, and then he passed away. So being in the military was a big deal to the family. After she got her nursing degree, the war broke out, Second World War broke out. Well, she said it was just natural for her to want to be in the military and follow up with, you know, what her father had done and others in the family had done.
I think it was in 1945. There were 5 hospital ships. She was on active duty at the time, and they were recruiting nurses to fill positions on these 5 hospital ships. So she was one of those nurses, and she went on the USS Benevolence. So they were motoring to the Marshall Islands during World War II, and they were going in as part of the invasion of Japan.
So while they're out on the hospital ship in the Sea of Japan, the bomb gets dropped on Japan. So instead of this becoming a mission where they're going to be shipping wounded soldiers out, now it becomes a mission where they're evacuating prisoners of war from Japan.
So in 1951, she rejoined the Navy because she felt she still had something to contribute as a Navy nurse. During the Korean War effort, she was stationed at the Naval Hospital Corps School in Portsmouth, Virginia, where she trained Navy corpsmen. Navy corpsmen who were going to graduate and then immediately go out to be docks with the Marines or go out and be on the ships supporting the sailors. So that was her primary mission, as well as helping care for those wounded from the Korean War at Portsmouth Naval Hospital. So during the Vietnam War, Admiral Duerk had been successful in achieving rank, and she was a captain, and in 1970 was actually appointed the director of the Navy Nurse Corps. So as director of the Nurse Corps, she had the ultimate authority of all our Navy nurses and our hospital corpsmen. So one of her primary responsibilities was to ensure that she had the right number of nurses, the right number of corpsmen at all our hospitals that were caring for all the wounded that were coming back from the Vietnam War.
My Aunt Alene was of the opinion that if women could do the job, they should be allowed to do it and get credit for doing it if they're going to earn things. And if they're going to earn it, they should be paid the same, and they should get the same responsibility that men get for doing the same job.
Well, Admiral Duerk felt that we were on equal playing grounds with men. And that's what she did. She continually sought out opportunities to get higher positions, higher leadership positions, and to sit at that table with men leaders. And she ignored them when they said, you know what, there's no place for a woman in this role, or that's not something a woman can do.
Alene really understood that it was patriarchal, but I don't think it mattered to her. I think she was like, I can do this, I can do anything that this man can do, and I'm going to do it better. And she did do it better, and therefore she got promoted, and she got moved into positions that other women had never been in before. And she just continued on this path, and it worked for her.
In her role, didn't have female peers. Her peers were men. whether they were senior in rank. And so for her to accomplish to be the first admiral, it took a lot of different things to happen, not just in the Navy, but in the military in general, because there was no regulation that allowed women at that time to even achieve the rank of admiral.
It was a big deal for all of us. My aunt didn't know. My aunt actually heard it on the radio. She was driving to Grandma's house, and she heard it on the radio herself, and she pulled into the toll booth. So the first person she told was the toll booth operator that she had just been promoted. So by the time she got to Grandma's house, the call had already gone out, so we all met her there.
Alene Duerk was named the Navy's First Woman Admiral. Admiral Duerk's promotion ceremony contained another first.
So Admiral Duerk retired, and she then volunteered. She was a volunteer for Meals on Wheels. So when she moved back to the Orlando area, she carried meals to homes of elderly that could not get out on their own and do their own shopping, and she delivered their meals so that they could have a good, healthy 3 square meals a day. And you would never have known, here's this admiral that achieved such great success in the Navy, actually volunteered going house to house, helping the elderly in her community. I always admired her for that. That's such a great thing that she did for many years.
I think I would want people to see this film to just know that she was incredibly hardworking. She tried to go above and beyond what was asked of her. Always wanted to do the best that she could do and to help other people do the best that they could do, so that the people were doing the best for themselves, and it would also be the best for the military and for the country.
Admiral Duerk lived 98 years, and in her later years, she planned her funeral and she put down what she wanted on her gravestone. She was a simple girl from a small town in Ohio, and that's how she carried herself throughout her Navy career. And that is why the gravestone has her name and her rank, and that she was in the United States Navy, and that is it. And that is exactly how she wanted it. I would like Admiral Duerk to be remembered as a lady who was successful, who broke many barriers, and who paved the way for women who came after her.